GPT 5 is here, and we already have something which is agent mode, which is available from the previous version as well. One thing which I specifically wanted to try in GPT 5 is that how does the agent mode behave, and today in this video I'm going to explore the GPT 5 and let's see how much the agent mode has evolved in GPT 5. Okay, so I am into my chat GPT. So to use the agent mode, you need to have the paid subscription. I already have that one. So to start with that, you can just click on this plus button and you would have something which is called the agent mode, which is showing me that I have 31 agents mode left today. I think that's enough for the video, right? So I'll just click on this and that start the agent mode. Now, first thing first, you would notice that there are some of the suggested prompts which are already coming here. Then you have different categories which tells you that you can create a report, you have spreadsheet, you can also work with presentations, right? And the most important and the interesting one is this one, which is the actions. So let's say today I want to travel from my place Dehradun to, let's say, Bangalore, and I want to book a flight and I want to have some actions, right? So let's try to do that. And I'll just go book my flight from, let's say, Dehradun to Bangalore on, let's say, 26th of August, and make sure it's a direct flight. Okay. So I have just given a prompt saying that book my flight from Dehradun to Bangalore on 26th of August and make sure it's a direct flight. Cut. Okay, so I am back into my chat GPT interface and you can see at the top I am into the chat GPT version, which is the flagship model of OpenAI, right? To access the agent mode, you simply have to click on this button and you should have something which is called agent mode. This requires a paid subscription, and GPT is telling me that Mukesh, you have 30 left for till August 30, right? So I think that's pretty much, at least for the video. So I can just go and click on this agent mode. Now onto the agent mode, first you will see some of the suggested prompt. It is also telling us that I can create some sort of reports, I can create spreadsheets, I can create presentation, and the interesting one is I can also have something which is called the actions, where we want the AI to take actions on my behalf. For example, I am planning to visit from my place Dehradun to Bangalore, and I usually use Make My Trip, which is an Indian website, to book the flights, right? Let's try to give that prompt and let's see how does the agent mode behave. I have seen this into the previous one, into the GPT-4, where it was taking a lot of time. Let's try it in the GPT-5. Okay. So I can just go here and say book my flight using Make My Trip from Dehradun to Bangalore, and I'll just say that make sure it's a direct flight. Okay. Now I have instructed the agent to book my flight. However, one thing which you would notice here is I have not specified how many passengers and what is the date, right? So if you notice here, it says that just to confirm before I proceed, can you provide me the date you want to travel, because to do the action it needs all information. So I can just say 26th of August and one, and for only me maybe, right? Now, sure, I'll proceed to book a flight from Dehradun to Bangalore on 26 for one passenger through Make My Trip. I'll suitable flight and let you know before finalizing, right? Now, here in this, what you are looking at is a browser, mini kind of browser, which ChatGPT has opened. You always has an option to take over. You can stop it or you can just watch it. The good part about this is, meanwhile, this is running, you can always go to the other stuff and it will wait for you, right? So if you see here what it is trying to do, so it has went to the website, it accidentally scrolled to the bottom, so now it is again going, trying for the Dehradun. So yes, it selected the Dehradun, right? Just remember we have told it to select a direct flight, right? So the from field is set likely to the Dehradun, but I can't see it, so scroll upward, right? So same like a human would do, all of this action is happening directly into the browser for you, where the agent is taking the decision. And you could notice that it has selected the date, but the date which has selected is 25th of August, right? So it did a wrong action, and now the agent itself is going to correct the thing for us, right? So now it's going to do a 26th of August, then it will click on the search button, right? The return is left blank because I only selected it for one way, I guess, but it didn't ask. Let's see. And now if you notice that there is some error which it has got onto the browser, which is like pretty print something, right? So let's try to see what it comes up with. So the whole idea here is, as an agent mode, it can actually go and do a lot of things for you. It will go into errors. If it was like a traditional programming where a developer would have coded it, and all of these unexpected situations or error has to be fixed by the developer by writing some of the codes. Whereas now operator itself is able to find out that yes, I have got into unexpected error, so it went back, refreshed the browser, and it will try to do the same operation again till the time it succeed, right? So meanwhile this is working, we can just try to see what else it can do. Okay, so I have just opened a parallel tab and let's try to do some kind of reports, right? So let's try to generate a report where I say that I want to create a report on, let's say, on-prem LLM versus cloud LLM, and which suits what customer. And today I'm, let's say, trying to pitch an LLM to a company, and the company has two options. They can either go for a cloud where everything is managed on the cloud, or they wanted to run something which is on-prem where everything is controlled into their infrastructure. But I want to give my thoughts to the company saying that, guys, this is the benefit of using cloud, this is the benefit of using on-prem, these are the consideration, these are the vendors and all of that, right? So now I could have easily asked that to chat GPT, right? And it would have given me a lot of stuff. However, if I want to do it as myself, right? So what I would do, I would actually first go to the internet, do the searching, get to the prominent site, extract the information, and then maybe create a final report, right? And that's what the agent is doing on my behalf, right? So if you can see that now it is on the reading mode where it says the on-prem cloud LLM, what model is right for you, and it is reading all the Q&As from this website, which is Signity Solutions, I guess, right? Reopening the site, and it's the same options here, right? You can see the takeover, you can stop it, and there is one thing which is activity. Meanwhile this is working. Let's go to the previous one, right, which is this one, and you would see this worked for 4 minutes. I can click on this. It says that I have encountered an issue with this, and if you go to the activity, here is all the activity kind of trace logs which you would require to go to that, right? So I begin with make my trip, whatever it did, all of those actions are available for you here, right? And then it went to here. I went through make my trip on one-way flight from this for one traveler. I selected the route correctly and tried to search for the flight. Unfortunately, make my trip website loads a blank page when attempting to display the results, right? So it says that I'm not able to find it, which means that the dynamic flight search is not working properly in this environment. Okay, let's try to see if I do the same thing into as a human, right? So am I also getting the same error, or it's something problem with the operator, right? So Dehradun to Bangalore, and let's say I plan to do it on 26th of August, I guess one-way flight, right? And search. and I am able to get the flights, right? And I can actually see the prices as well, right? So there is some issue with the operator in accessing this one, right? However, since it has some errors, it actually tested on another site, which is Ease My Trip, and it says that it is an alternative platform, which is a good option, and it says that it is able to find me the details, and do I want to continue, right? So let's say I just say here continue with Ease My Trip, and the thing which I want to show here is that when the agent is facing some difficulties, it retries, it stops, and then it gives you alternate option and wait for the human approval. And you would notice now the search is continuing with the Ease My Trip website. Okay, let's continue. Let's keep it running, and meanwhile let me go here and try to use the agent mode, and let's try to create a presentation where I just say that create a PowerPoint comparing the product option including image, prices, pros and cons for the MacBook latest and the Windows latest laptop. Anyways, MacBook is a laptop, right? So yeah, so this time I have asked the agent to create a PPT, right? Let's go back to our previous one and see what's happening, right? It's been more than, I guess, 3-4 minutes. I just paused the video, and after 3 or 4 minutes, this is the output which I have received on the cloud versus on-prem deployment, which is like large language models. On this deployment models is cloud versus LLMs. On premise means this, what are the advantages, what does the drawbacks, and all of this is coming from the sources, right? On premise LLMs, what are the advantages, what are the drawbacks, then this is the comparative factor, right? That what is the comparative factor, what is the decision, and all of this complete report. However, I, let's say, do not want to use the agent mode, and if I just go to ChatGPT, write the same prompt, right? And if I just say search, the response would be available, right? Thinking longer for a better result. So let's let it think, right? So my idea is to show you how different it is when it comes to having a agent created report on the same stuff versus an OpenAI search created report, right? So that might be a question. So you could see here why to choose why. Executive summary is this, deployment model is this. When it comes to the dimension side by side, this is the data which is coming, and this is coming from the knowledge base. It has not used the internet because I have not used it. Even if I use the internet, this is a pretty good response. However, if you see this one, this is more kind of a detailed report which personally I would like to utilize for my customer, right? What is the decision framework, when to choose what, because it is like everything it has given including a conclusion as well, right? You may argue that if you give internet connection, then what happens? Let's try to do that. So I just go here, and to give the internet connection, I can maybe stop this. I can just go here and I say deep research, and then here you have the web search option as well, and I say search, right? So now the same prompt I have given this thing, and let's see how does it differentiate. Okay, meanwhile let's go to the flight booking, and you could see that it is still struggling with Ease My Trip. Oh, now it shift to a new website, Clear My Trip, right? So let's see what happened actually. So yeah, it went to this. I missed clicking on the close button. Yeah, okay, so here is this, unfortunately, and then I think it was facing some issues, so I don't know what happened here. Maybe I can just go to desktop view. Yeah, and then it is now doing the thing into Clear My Trip, right? So I think as a human I won't use this. It was much more easier, right? So yeah, this thing still need an update, but good to see that at least something is happening on the screen, right? Back to my presentation, right, which I have asked it to prepare me a presentation for the laptops. It is still working. I can go here, go to the activities, and you would see that it is referring to all the different pages, right, research related stuff. So you can just go to the desktop view and you can switch the view as well, right. Meanwhile, for this one where we have given the internet access, now this is the final result, right. On-prem, LLM, deployment options, these are the dimensions, uh, Indian context, draft rule, why to choose word, right. Pretty good. But this one, this one looks more detailed and comprehensive with a lot of other information like cost and carbon impacts, sustainability, right. What is the impact on in-house clouds, what is the budgeting and all, whereas in this one it has the things but the numbers are a bit less here, right. So if I am creating a detailed report on anything, I think that's where this mode works, right. You can also try something which is called thinking mode of a GPT, and then you can find out how does that work. But yeah, one thing is very clear, at least the agent is not able to perform these things. Okay, now back to this product comparison. So it's still working. Let's just wait and see how does it comes up. Okay, so now after close to 12 minutes onto this flight booking thing, finally I have got this thing where it has started from make my trip to clear trip, and now it is showing me on ease my trip, and then I have an option here which is take over. If I click on the take over button, then it is going to redirect me directly to the payment screen where I have to do the payment, and you can see that Dehradun to Bangalore on 26th Air India, and it's a non-stop flight, right. So ideally it is able to do the thing for me. However, the problem it is taking a lot of time, right. Back to my product comparison. So this is the product comparison thing which it has created, and it has took around 26 minutes to do that. And this is the laptop comparison PPT, which you can see here. It has an image which is as a date, it has a MacBook image, then it tells me that this is the latest laptop, I believe that is, and then pros for this, cons, and this is the comparison and the recommendation. Pretty good, pretty neat when it comes to choice of the colors, icon, images. If I just you have to do a search, then it would take more time, but yeah, this is good. However, the time which has taken is 26 minutes, right. Now the question would be, do we really want to wait this much time for doing this task? The answer might maybe no today, and over a period of time this will definitely get evolved, right. But for tasks like this is taking a lot of time, so absolutely I'm not going to do this. For me, I'm going to utilize this mostly for the report kind of stuff where it did pretty well. Presentation again depends on how you build presentation, so rather I would use it to get the data and then make the presentation myself, right. Okay, so now I have got some of the points which I have mentioned on my screen. I'm just going to read it, right? So the good part is it is saving us time for a lot of the complex tasks, such as one report which used to take like 3 to 4 hours. GPT was able to do it in 10-15. GPT agent mode is able to do it in 10-15 minutes, which is pretty decent, and this requires a pro plan, right? It handles the multi-step workflow. So for example, if you have to plan your trip and you have to go to 3, 4, 5 different sites, it does all of that together into a single interface, so multi-step thing. But again, the time constraint is more. It has a strong tool combination like browser, research, code execution, all of that happens simultaneously. So these are the kind of the good which is for the agent mode, right? But if I talk about the challenges, the challenges is slow and sometimes glitchy, right? We have seen that the agent mode for booking the flight is absolutely slow, right? And sometimes it is also having glitches. We have seen that make my trip was a website which was already open. However, when we tried to do it with the help of agent mode, it was not able to get me the results, right? The second thing is the execution limitation. It struggles with login, captchas, dynamic pages, financial transaction workflow. So whenever there is any new pop-up or something, or a captcha related thing is coming, it is able to handle the pop-up but face difficulties with captchas, right? And then it has some of the limitation onto the agent mode, right? So I think as of now today it is good for doing some of the task and not good for doing all the tasks, but in future we hope that this get evolved, right? Okay, so with that, wrapping this video here, that was a quick analysis of the GPT-5 agent mode. Let me know your feedback, comments, and your reviews on GPT-5 agent modes by commenting. And in case you are interested to run LLM into your local machine, I have a dedicated playlist available on Olama, and we also have an Olama app video available on the channel, right? I have hooked the link in the description. Feel free to watch. With that, wrapping this video here. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye.